cut that ribbon.
The cutting of the ribbon signified the official opening of a unique public display in the Santa Ana Police Department Community Room. The Courage to Remember, the Holocaust, 1933 to 1945, provides a timeless message and an unparalleled look at the Nazi Holocaust.
The import of the Holocaust transcends all lines of religion and of race. The human significance is universal. The courage and morality of every society are constantly on trial, and in a crisis, they're tested to the limits. The Holocaust teaches us that terrible things happen when we forget history and our shared humanity and succumb to ignorance and fear and hate.
The exhibit, which is free and open to the public, features over 200 exclusive photographs that offer amazing insight into the Holocaust through 4 distinct themes: Nazi Germany, 1933 to 1938, Moving Toward the Final Solution, 1939 to 1941, Annihilation in Occupied Europe, 1941 to 1945, and Liberation, Building New Lives. The exhibit is sponsored by the Simon Wiesenthal Center, the Foundation for California, and the French National Railway System. Since it was first presented over 20 years ago, it has been seen in over 16 different countries by more than 2 million visitors, making it the most widely attended traveling exhibition on Holocaust education and remembrance. The Courage to Remember is currently on display in the Santa Ana Police Department Community Room until February the 15th.
So we're grateful that the Santa Ana Police Department welcomed us into their midst. They've been wonderfully welcoming. We couldn't be happier about that. And we want to thank the veterans, and we want to thank the first responders, and we want to thank especially the Santa Ana Police Department. And we want to thank the acting chief of the Santa Ana Police Department, who has gone out of his way to make us comfortable. Thank you.
For the official opening, the Santa Ana Police Department Community Room was filled with dignitaries, visitors, World War II veterans, and over 100 Santa Ana high school students.
The message that I do want to send out is really directed at our youth that line the walls here of the community room. And I think oftentimes we get caught up in the day-to-day things that we do in our lives. History goes by us and we don't even realize it. So before you all leave here today, I encourage all the youth to take a look around, look at some of these exhibits, read some of these exhibits, and see what atrocities were done, and to really make that commitment and ensure that these things don't happen again, because they happen because of actions and inactions of leaders throughout the world.
Speaker after speaker spoke about the importance of remembrance and tolerance and the historical lessons of the Holocaust.
The Courage to Remember exhibit poses to us 3 significant challenges. 1, today we are challenged to remember. 2, we are challenged to educate. 3, we are challenged to commit. The impact of the Holocaust and the valuable lessons that can be taken from history's most deadly horror benefit us only if we take proactive steps to educate ourselves, our children, and the future.
And I'm most glad to see that we have a lot of young people here who are listening and are going to be learning, because we know it's a courage to remember, and that's the theme of it, but it has to be a covenant and a commitment to remember. Because we know as our experiences change, as our demographies develop, these moments in time, these moments in history, sometimes get away from us, and we see them as things that happened in the past. But what we have to realize is that the reason it's important for us to remember is because we have recurring themes of hate that surface, and we're not immune here in our county. So we have to make sure that we speak with a strong voice and a unified voice when we say these things cannot be tolerated anymore. Injustice in our time, hopefully, we may not be able to eradicate it, but we certainly can minimize its impact.
60 years after the Holocaust, there is enormous appetite for Holocaust education. We live at a time when we hear frequently, often from the enemies of the United States, but from others, that the Holocaust didn't happen. It never occurred. So it is more important than ever at this time for us to remember the Holocaust, to relearn its lessons, and to tell everyone we know about those lessons so that this does not happen again.
The German philosopher Karl Jasper said, "That which has happened is a warning. To forget it is guilt. It must be continually remembered. It was possible for this to happen, and it remains possible for it to happen again at any minute. Only in knowledge can it be prevented."
Irish statesman Edmund Burke said, and this is going to be a very familiar quote, but one that we have to keep in mind, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." There were a lot of good men and women, brave men and women, who risked their lives to save others during this dark period in our collective history. Let's look into our hearts and endeavor always to have the courage, the honor, and the morality to stand against evil and stand together for all of humanity.
Stefan Biedermann, Deputy Consul General of the Federal Republic of Germany, spoke on how the Holocaust is taught to German children today.
In Germany, no kid at school would not at least 2 or 3 times be taught about what has happened at different stages of age because, well, you can imagine, kids at different ages have different approaches to understand what has happened. They are also being taught that the Germans weren't even able to liberate themselves of these Nazi devils, as the first speaker today said. If not, our American friends wouldn't have done the job for us, and that's why I'm very happy to see some of the veterans here. It was the Americans with the French and the British and the Soviets who liberated us from that guy and his band of well, I would say, terrorists.
Holocaust survivor Elaine Geller spoke about her experiences and her hope for the future.
If a survivor gets anything wonderful in this world, is to see the variations, the differences that are interested in making this a better world, that it never happens again. Your presence in this room, knowing that it's people of all religions, faiths, and so on, is the thing that is medicine to my soul, and I will speak about this with the intent of prevention for the rest of my life. Thank you.
I sincerely hope that over the next fortnight, and perhaps even longer, based on what the county supervisor said earlier, prodigious numbers of residents of Orange County will come and see this exhibition, will learn from it, and be inspired by it to engage the present and to help shape a bright, safe, and peaceful future.
The Santa Ana Police Department Community Room is located between the Santa Ana Jail and the Police Department main lobby. The exhibit is currently available for public viewing from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday until February the 15th.